Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here, and what a day. We just had quite a big crypto crash, quite a crash, and El Salvador have made Bitcoin legal tender, so lots going on. So just going to go through the wonderful world of crypto Twitter and do the weekly crypto conversation market sentiment report. As always, the best place to watch this is on the BraveNewCoin YouTube channel, just because I'll be using some tweets and a few images along the way. So always fun to follow along on YouTube, but you can listen to this as a normal podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts as well. It's up to you. All right. Are you ready? Let's get on with the show. So we'll start over here on BraveNewCoin.com, and Bitcoin price is currently, according to the BLX, the Bitcoin Liquid Index, just a little bit under 47,000, and the Ethereum price about 3,400. So over at Coin 360, the very good Coin 360 heat map, you can see that everything is just pretty much red across the market, apart from perhaps Solana, still certainly down from where Solana was yesterday. But yeah, everything else, Bitcoin's dropped pretty much by 10%, just over, 10% drop, and Ethereum almost a 14% drop. And yeah, well, it's not much better across the market, really. So just looking at quick Bitcoin chart, yeah, you can see the drop here. So went all the way down to just under 43,000 from, you remember it was almost up. We almost got to 53,000 US yesterday, but bam, big drop there. Small recovery back to around 46 as we talk. So you can see it, the drop really nicely here. Just a whoosh, massive drop, and then a bit of a recovery, and who knows where we go from here. So yeah, interesting times. So Willy Woo puts it into context. Willy says the day opened with a risk off in the equities market, some initial sell down of Bitcoin, and then more selling, and then of course a stop hunt, liquidity collapse moment. A lot of over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin liquidations on leveraged traders. But Willy also says this is not supported by investor fundamentals on chain, which remain bullish, really, according to all the on chain analysts. So, and of course, Willy says not entirely sure what the heck just happened, but that's just the sequence of events. And the sell-off, of course, was mainly in the derivative markets, like most crashes, just as those leveraged traders are getting wiped out. So you can see the amount of liquidations. Quite large. According to this, 330,000 traders liquidated. Largest liquidations happened on Huobi here and Bybit. Yeah, same data, just presented a different way here by Larry from the block. Most on Bybit as usual. Again, a 1.1 billion in Bitcoin liquidations, 700 million in ETH liquidations, and as Larry points out, perfectly healthy leverage flush. Market was just getting overheated. Had a very good run over most of August, really, last 2-3 weeks especially. So we probably were due some kind of correction, and well, here it is. Of course, probably not a surprise that most of the exchanges did struggle when the kind of the volatility spike really started to accelerate. So Coinbase was down for a while, Gemini was down for a while, Kraken was struggling, FTX. Again, this is a sort of a pattern. They did some rate limiting, but they did stay in the game. Binance US completely broken. So yeah, it's just the same old story. These a lot of these exchanges, they struggle. Again, yeah, Alex Kruger just pointing out the same thing here. And you'd think, you know, Gemini, Kraken, Coinbase, these are not small exchanges. These are big, you know, professionally run US-based exchanges, been around for years, a lot of capital, but they can't meet the demand when these, the famous crypto liquidity crunches happen. So yeah, SPF, of course, the founder at FTX just pointed out that, yeah, they did have some rate limiting going on for high volume users, but overall, yeah, they managed to keep the engine room running, and of course, yeah, there were way fewer liquidations on FTX as well. Yeah, so FTX right down here. So I guess that just kind of shows that I suppose maybe the traders are a little bit more sophisticated on FTX, certainly use much lower leverage, whereas the more Asian dominated exchanges tend to have higher incidences of higher leverage users. And well, that's a dangerous game, as we can see. Now, so if we just go back here, so we pointed out that this did sort of work down, I think just a touch around 43,000, maybe a touch under. The reason I point that out again is Plan B noted this as well. So if we can, yeah, acknowledge that we just hit down to around 43K, that was the bottom. I mean, could still go lower, but that was the bottom for today's move. And the reason I bring that up is just because Plan B, he said way back in June, this tweet here, when we were sort of getting that, you know, when Bitcoin last wicked down to below 34K, when we had the Elon Musk energy FUD, and of course the China crypto crackdown. So even back then, Plan B said worst case scenario would be, you know, August would close above 47K, September above 43K. So here we are, we're, you know, well into September now, and we've kind of touched down just to 43K. But these are his worst case estimates. So I think he's saying that it won't go below that in September, and then on October won't go below or close below 63K, November 98K, December 135K. So of course, this is just, you know, this is stock to flow, a worst case scenarios. So yeah, I mean, the drama continues. Is stock to flow it's still in play, guys, still in play. So, but we are getting, as we just get deeper in sort of, you know, December is approaching, the end of 2021 is approaching. Man, it's interesting times. Tell you who was probably expecting this correction is Dave the Wave. Of course, you know, if stock to flow represents the really bullish case for Bitcoin, you know, Dave the Wave has the more lengthening cycle theory, the logarithmic growth curve. If you know about that, good. If you don't, I had Dave the Wave on the podcast about 6 weeks ago. Dave the Wave is a fellow Kiwi, fellow New Zealander, very, very good technical analyst. So what Dave is looking at is, so this is the fractal of the big, huge run up in Bitcoin at the start of 2021, right? So, you know, from sort of under 20K to 20K, the old all-time high from December 2017, and then, you know, this massive run up that we had at the start of this year. So Dave pointed out that, yeah, the recent run up that sort of happened last month through August, yeah, it's quite eerily similar in some ways. So quite a nice little fractal there, and of course, yeah, here we are. So updated this morning from Dave. So if you see this drop back here, is this a similar drop here? And if so, if the fractal continues, is this what happens next? Do we go down? So yeah, possibly, just something to keep an eye on. Bullish or bearish, if you're bullish, you can follow stock to flow and see if that plays out. If you're bearish, or just want to have some awareness of the possible risk of downsides, have a look at Dave the Waves analysis. All right. What else is happening? I mean, the other big thing, and this is always the case, right? So today, as Edward Snowden has rightfully pointed out, today is the day that Bitcoin was formally recognized as legal tender in El Salvador. And so, I mean, it's just, is ironic the right word? It's unsurprising that, the day that El Salvador would make Bitcoin legal tender, the market dumped, right? So are the two things related? I mean, no one knows. Is it whales playing games? No one knows, but this is crypto. You've just got to expect these kind of volatility events, and sometimes, it's just how it goes, right? But so what I think's interesting, for Edward Snowden of all people to say this, beyond the headlines, there is now pressure on competing nations to acquire Bitcoin, even if only as a reserve asset, because Bitcoin's design massively incentivizes early adoption. So, Edwin, he's talking about the game theory, really interesting blockchain Bitcoin game theory involved. The idea being no one wants to be the first, but you certainly don't want to be the last. So, the first early adopters of Bitcoin way back in the day, they took a lot of risk getting into Bitcoin, but they have certainly been rewarded. And now today, I mean, it's historic. El Salvador has become the first nation state to begin buying Bitcoin. They are the first. And I just have to see if that inspires other nation states to try and keep up. Latecomers may regret hesitating, though. What's cool is, now that Bitcoin is legal tender in El Salvador, I think, that means that you have to offer Bitcoin as a payment option. And look, so here you go. This is someone went to McDonald's for breakfast earlier today, and they were able to buy their McDonald's by using the Lightning Network. Pretty amazing. So I'll come back to, here we go. So OpenNode is the company that is enabling McDonald's in El Salvador to be able to accept Lightning Network Bitcoin payments. It's just weird, to see that McDonald's, one of the world's biggest brands, you can pay for Bitcoin. You can pay for McDonald's using Bitcoin over the Lightning Network. Kind of mind-blowing. Only in El Salvador right now, but who knows what will happen next. So this, of course, is the president of El Salvador. He's been buying the dip. I mean, you got to love this guy. Bitcoin day. So I think they bought, I don't know, they bought 200 coins early in the day, and then another 200, maybe another 150. Something like that. But yeah, just cool to see. I mean, I am seeing reports, some of the news outlets are saying that this kind of Bitcoin rollout hasn't gone smoothly in El Salvador, and that may or may not be the case. I mean, something like this, it's not going to go 100% smoothly, but I wouldn't necessarily read too much into any headlines that say it's a disaster either. And of course, this is the first day, so of course there's going to be teething problems. Way too soon to declare it a success or a failure. Either way, you just got to give it time. Give it time. We'll see. But one way or another, the whole world is certainly going to be watching. And so we talked about this game theory of other nation states. Do the dominoes start to fall? Panama has introduced a bill to recognize Bitcoin and Ethereum as payment methods. So yeah, just interesting to watch if, yeah, can El Salvador pull this off, and will other nation states follow their lead? All right, Alex, what does Alex say here? Journalists are desperate to build a narrative for today's correction. Stop. Sometimes there is no narrative. Yeah, just good context there. Sometimes there's just the market is overheated. Sometimes it's as simple as that. And woollywoof says the best time to buy your first Bitcoin is in a bear market. Second best time is right before a liquidity crunch, such as we experienced earlier today. And the reason for that is because it's just good to experience the intense volatility that crypto is capable of dishing up, both to the upside and to the downside. Because if all you know is a bull market, man, that first crash or bear market can really upset the stomach. But yeah, so the more you're accustomed to that, the easier it is, as Willie says, just to hold on to your coins and not get shaken out by these dips. Let's finish off. Just going to finish off with this thread by this woman here, Tasha. NFTs. So this is an interesting experiment. So she says, if you make an NFT of a real diamond and the diamond gets destroyed, you still have the same asset. It's kind of a crazy concept, right? Because the token still exists. Token is limited in supply. It's now a digital token. It's an NFT. And so what this idea does to the concept of assets, well, it's kind of mind-blowing, right? But you know, it's a great thought experiment. So I'm not going to go, it's quite a detailed thread. If you want to really dig into it, please do. But where's the thread? Yeah, this is the thread. So what she's decided that she's going to do this, right? So she documents the process here. She created an account on OpenSea. She went and bought a hammer to destroy the diamond. And then she went and bought a diamond. She bought a 1.32 carat diamond for $5,000 US. She bought a hammer. And you can watch the, yeah, here it is. You can watch the video of her trying to smash the diamond. It wasn't as easy as you'd think, or as she thought, and I guess that makes sense. Diamonds are supposed to be hard, and yeah, so it was hard to destroy, but she did get there in the end. So that's what it looks like, kind of smashed diamond residue, and that was the shredded certificate of authenticity. So then she made an NFT. She minted it. Here's the contract. And it is now available on OpenSea. Long story short. There it is. Tasha's destroyed diamond. So remember, she paid, I think, $5,000 US for the diamond. Current bid on the diamond, and the reserve is met. Yep, reserve is met. Current bid is $17,000. So there you go. It's just a kind of an interesting thought experiment. We're going to see so much more of this stuff in NFT. So I just thought that was an interesting way to close it out. Yeah, interesting times in crypto as always. Crypto is down, mega crash, but Bitcoin is now legal in El Salvador. What happens next? Who knows? That is what makes it exciting. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Crypto Conversation and whatever podcast app you are using. Any feedback you want to get at me, just drop me an email, andy@bravenewcoin.com. But that is today's show. Thanks, guys. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave, a new coin. See ya.